60 farm auctions in just a few months. Tractors fetching half their asking price. National combine sales are crashing, nearly 80% in a single month. This is not a downturn. It is the kind of collapse Arkansas farmers have not seen since 2015. The wreckage is spreading fast. How did a vital industry reach its breaking point? And what happens to the land and the families caught in the blast zone? Rows of tractors and combines line up for auction in towns across Arkansas. Since December, more than 60 farm equipment auctions have taken place, an eruption not seen in decades. Auction logs show full farm liquidations happening almost every week. In Wynne, Witcher Auctions alone has handled more than 12 dispersals by October, with late-model machines and entire fleets going under the hammer. Bidders from as far as the Midwest and Canada crowd online platforms, chasing bargains as local farmers watch years of investment get stripped away in minutes. The numbers behind these sales are even more staggering. National combine sales in January 2025 collapsed by nearly 80% compared to the year before. Just 97 new combines sold nationwide, down from 460. Regional sales of tractors in Arkansas dropped 13% year over year. For 13 straight months, equipment sales have declined without a break. Auction houses report planters and sprayers selling for half their typical value. Dealers are moving inventory at a loss, desperate to stop the financial bleeding. This is not a blip. It is a sustained crash echoing across the country, with Arkansas at the epicenter. Every week brings more auction notices, more families forced to liquidate, and more evidence that the entire system is under pressure. The collapse in combine sales is not an isolated event. It is a warning signal, amplified by the relentless pace of auctions sweeping through rural communities. The old safety nets are gone. The numbers leave no doubt. Arkansas is ground zero for a historic unraveling in American agriculture. More auctions, more liquidations, more families watching decades of work and investment disappear on an auction block. The market is in free fall, and the price being paid is the future of family farming. Tractor sales in Arkansas have dropped 13% year over year. Combines are down 48%. Four-wheel drive tractors have fallen by more than half, down 54.5%. These are not just numbers on a page. They represent a total breakdown between what dealers hope to get and what buyers are willing to pay. In August, the gap between asking prices and auction results for high-horsepower tractors reached 48%. For combines, the spread soared to 57%, far beyond anything seen in 2015. Dealers list late-model tractors for $400,000, but at auction, they bring barely $200,000. Combines that once moved for $500,000 now struggle to clear $300,000. The price collapse is faster and deeper than most in the industry have ever witnessed. Greg Peterson, known as Machinery Pete, calls this the biggest drop I have seen since 2014 to 2015. He tracks tens of thousands of transactions every year, and his data shows that auction values are falling much faster than retail listings can adjust. This is not a normal correction. In 2015, the gap between what sellers wanted and what buyers paid was wide, but never like this. Now the market is flooded with late-model equipment, and every auction drives values even lower. Dealers are forced to liquidate, not out of choice, but out of necessity. The result is a historic value gap that leaves farmers and dealers alike with nowhere to turn and no way to recover what has been lost. A combine bought for $500,000 in 2022 now sits on the ledger as a financial trap. The farmer still owes $450,000 to the bank. At auction, The same machine brings just $350,000. That is a $100,000 shortfall. Real money that does not disappear when the auction gavel falls. Auction receipts across Arkansas show this pattern repeating. Late model equipment, barely broken in, is selling for 40% less than just 2 years ago. The math is simple, and the consequences are crushing. Payments made month after month do not keep up with how fast values are dropping. Dealers and lenders set loan terms when prices were high, and now the market turns against the borrower. Even after the sale, debt lingers. The farmer loses the machine and still faces a 6-figure balance. The risk is not abstract. One wrong season, one forced auction, and years of equity vanish overnight. For many, there is no way. No way to pay off the remainder. No way to start over. No protection from the next round of losses. Net farm income in Arkansas has dropped 20% in 1 year. Cash income for the average operation in the Heartland is down nearly $30,000, adjusted for inflation. For corn growers, the hit is worse. Income off corn has fallen 35%. Soybean income is down 36%. These are the lowest levels seen since 2010. The numbers are not just statistics. They are the reality facing families who have farmed for generations. Scott Brown works 800 acres near Biggers. He runs his farm with 50-year-old tractors because he cannot afford anything newer. Even with paid-off equipment and no hired help, he struggles to break even. He asks, if someone in his position can barely hold on, what hope is left for larger farms saddled with debt and million-dollar machines? He cannot afford help. He cannot afford new equipment. Brown warns, you are going to lose 25 to 30% of the farmers in this country if they don't do something. The Agriculture Council of Arkansas echoes this, projecting that 1 in 3 farms could disappear by spring. Across the state, the collapse in farm income is not just a personal disaster. It is a threat to the future of rural Arkansas. Dealer lots across Arkansas are packed tighter than ever. Inventory of 300 horsepower tractors has soared 85% in a single year. Combined stack up 17% higher than last season, and compact and utility tractors are up 15%. Every unsold machine drains cash, and dealers pay 8% interest on floor plan loans just to keep machines sitting. The cost of carrying this iron is crushing, especially with each month of weak sales. In this environment, holding out for a better price is no longer an option. Auction values are dropping much faster than retail listings can adjust. In August, the gap between what dealers wanted and what auctions delivered for high horsepower tractors hit 48%. For combines, the spread reached 57%. These are numbers not seen even in the last major farm crisis. The result is a stampede to the auction block. Dealers rush late model equipment to liquidation. They are not chasing profit. They are trying to stop mounting losses from interest and depreciation. The more inventory piles up, the more desperate the need to convert assets into cash. Dealers take massive hits on every sale. Major manufacturers are pulling back. AGTO reports sales down 12% in the first quarter. CNH Industrial is down 14%. John Deere expects large equipment sales to fall another 15% by year-end. Josh Rohleder, speaking for Deere, points to a toxic mix. Rising global stocks, falling commodity prices, high interest rates, and weather swings are crushing farmer demand. The message from the top is clear. Producers are retreating from the market, and the companies that supply them are bracing for deeper losses. On the ground, the clamp tightens. Banks are raising lending standards. 20 to 25% of loan applications now face stricter terms or outright rejection. Even farmers with decades of credit history find themselves turned away. Delinquency rates on agricultural loans have climbed to nearly 2%, the highest since 2017. As incomes drop by 1/3, working capital evaporates. There is no safety net. Operating loans that kept farms afloat last year are now out of reach. Costs keep climbing. Since 1990, the price of a 200-horsepower tractor has jumped nearly threefold. Advanced technology and input inflation make new equipment unattainable. Interest rates hover near 8%. The Federal Reserve signals only a minimal cut, a mere half percentage point for 2025. That does nothing to ease the burden. The math is brutal. Farmers cannot buy new equipment, cannot sell old equipment, and cannot borrow to bridge the gap. This is the death squeeze. Every lever in the system is failing at once, and there is no path for recovery. Tonight, 1 in 3 Arkansas farms stands at risk. As auctions empty fields, the future of food shifts from family hands to corporate control. What happens in these rural towns now decides who feeds the nation tomorrow. The stakes are no longer local, they are national. Drop your thoughts below.